Welcome all to the exhibition. We all know that the Museum of the Asiatic Society has a rich collection of manuscripts. Apart from that, it also preserves a good number of oil paintings, rare books, lithographs, archival documents, including the rare photographs. As far as the acquisition is concerned, we have photographs of the archaeological monuments of India, such as Sanchi, Amaravati, Ajanta, Madura, Tanjore, Hampi, Bellary, and panoramic views of Khajuraho, Konark, etc. Besides, we have series of photographs displaying the races and tribes of India, Nepal, and of Southeast Asia too. Here, we have taken an album of photographs titled as Oriental Races and Tribes, Residents and Visitors of Bombay, with letterpress description. The book is authored by William Johnson, who is a daguerreotypist and founder of the Bombay Photographic Society. The important fact is that Mr. Johnson himself was the author and photographer of this rare album. The series of photographs comprises of 3 volumes. The first volume, Accession number PH12, embracing natives of Gujarat, Kutch, and Kathiawar, published in 1863. The second volume contains those of the Maratha country and published in 1866, the same accession number PH12. The third is the miscellaneous collection not falling under this category. Therefore, only 2 volumes of this series of photographs are taken for exhibition. The author has stated in the preface of his first volume that his endeavor was to meet the want of the public in the matter of races and tribes, and also for the photo documentation for the amateurs. Even he also stated, I quote, "The collection of negatives procured for the present work was made with great labor, and in many instances with no little persuasion addressed to the scrupulous personages, whose effigies have been successfully delineated by the solar ray." Unquote. So, the series of photographs from the Asiatic Society Museum archives has immense value, and I think the viewers will experience a different kind of exhibition. Now, Professor Swapan Kumar Pramanik, President of the Asiatic Society, and General Secretary Dr. Satyabrata Chakraborty will be presenting their views on this exhibition. Thank you.
On behalf of the Asiatic Society, we are particularly happy to note and observe 19th August every year as the World Photography Day. The day is an annual worldwide celebration of the science, history, and evolving craft of photography. The photographic craft was originated in Europe, more particularly in France, when in 1837 Louis Daguerre and Jean Nippy invented the craft, which has subsequently been identified as daguerreotype. Though the French government initially purchased the patent for it in 1839, subsequently it announced it as, quote, free gift to the world, unquote. With the invention of color photography in 1861 and digital camera and digital photography about 100 years later, the technology of photography has been revolutionized today. It has provided a valuable and diversified activities of man, nature, and society, included within the mobile cell phone technology. Now, it is offering valuable source of documentation of everyday life, quote unquote, for billions of people all over the world. In one word, photography has become an invaluable tool for research, advanced research, including outer space research, and the common man's pastime for leisure and recreation. We in the Asiatic Society are particularly happy to observe the day as the Asiatic Society started using this technology almost simultaneously during its invention in Europe. The Museum of the Asiatic Society, which was founded in 1814 by Nathalie Wallis, a botanist of Denmark and a prominent member of the Asiatic Society. The museum was founded with two sections originally, archaeological ethnological and geological zoological, for the reception of all articles, quote, that may lead to illustrate Oriental manners and history or to elucidate the peculiarities of nature in the East. It is to be observed here that photographic specimens contributed richly to embellish the museum section, as also for its publication section. One such good evidence in the publication of the book Oriental Races and Tribes, a series of photographs. That is the title of the book, written by William Johnson as early as in 1863, which is an invaluable collection of photographic materials on tribal groups residing in Western India. Let us recollect here that the technology was invented only 2 decades earlier, but the rich fruit of it was available in the Asiatic Society collection in the early part of the 1860s. We should also mention here that Dr. Rajendra Lal Mitra, the first Indian president of the Asiatic Society in 1885, was immensely interested in photography and applied this craft in his explorations and researches. His uniqueness lies in the fact that while the non-Indians, I mean the Britishers and other non-Indian people who also came in contact with the Asiatic Society, applied this technology from a colonial angle, quote unquote. Rajendra Lal had all along a nationalist perspective, quote unquote, in these photographic pursuits. He was the president of the Photographic Association of Bengal. We take this occasion to pay our tribute to him also. Congratulations everybody for this World Photography Day. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. Let me, at the very outset, extend to all of you a very hearty welcome to this program of the Asiatic Society. As you are already aware, this is the oldest institution of learning and research, not only in this country, but in the whole of the continent of Asia. Usually, our academic calendar includes annual programs like lectures, workshops, seminars, exhibitions, publications, and so on and so forth. This time, we have decided to put up this photographic exhibition on the occasion of World Photography Day, which is an annual world celebration of the art, craft, science, and history of photography. It was initiated long back in 1837, and it goes with the name of a French scholar photographer, Louis Daguerre, and whole of this world today observe this celebration in their own befitting way. We have also chosen to use this occasion to bring into relief a portion of our photographic collection which is in store here, very valuable photographic collection, specially taken from a source material, the Oriental races and tribes, where lot of photographs of various races and tribes were depicted from an area which is west of the country, covering mainly Gujarat, Kutch, Kathiawar, Rajputan, Konkan, Maratha, and so on and so forth. The human civilization is pretty old, and documentation and dissemination is also a very old proposition on which various research institutes have their own program in their own specific and unique way. Therefore, the Asiatic Society, being such a center of not only accumulation of knowledge but equally responsible for its dissemination to the wider public and academia at large. And since we are passing through a very critical moment in history, which has been caused by the effect of COVID-19, for which we have been restricted to our program for circulation through virtual mode. And this way, we have also chosen to use this virtual mode for putting up our exhibition for the benefit of our public, scholars, and researchers in whole of this country. And Asiatic Society is beginning this series with this program today on the occasion of World Photography Day, that is 19th August. Every year there is a chosen theme for this, but so far this year is concerned, so far there has not been any decision on a chosen theme. By and large, we have chosen our theme, that is coverage of the tribal life, and on which our Anthropological Secretary, Professor Ranjana Rai, will make a brief review of the entire program, touching on the anthropological input in particular. I think all of you will enjoy this exhibition and encourage us to continue with such program in future also. Thank you very, very much.
we have just now had seen the book of photographs that had been written, or I should say printed and made into 2 volumes. And actually, this is done by William Johnson. The book that we have shown here was published in 1863. Now, the year 1863 is very important for us, the anthropologists, is that this is the same year when Robert Bruce Foote also had found first evidence of human stone tool from India. This was a time also when the British, who had established a little more strongly their colony in India, were much interested into the culture, into the ethnology of the country. So this book, which is published in 1863, is mainly on the races, and actually the title of the book is Oriental Races and Tribes of Bombay, and it is actually done on photography of a time period when photography and the glass negative had started. In a way, we have seen the photographs which have given an impression of the time of India, its people, and also a number of features, not only people, but also a number of features like churches, temples, railways, panoramic views were mainly shown in these 2 books. Actually, there were 3 volumes that were written. The first volume was mainly on the races and people, and that was of the Bombay, and they were mainly of the photographs, series of photographs. Volume 1 contained Gujarat, Kathiawar, and Kutch, and volume 2 had the series of photographs of Maharashtra or Maratha country. And the third one also had miscellaneous photographs. Here we are going to discuss mainly on these 2 volumes that I have just talked about in the photographs of the Maratha. Now, the book that has been written was by William Johnson. Not much is known about William Johnson, excepting that William Johnson came to India, worked as a clerk in Bombay city, and then he became an assistant, but his main interest was in photography. So at that early time of photography, he had taken pictures what interested him, and also the people who were there in the city. And since, as you know, from the very early time period, Bombay was a place where all kinds of people came, not only Indians, but also from other countries because of trade and business activities. So he had watched these people, he had tried to understand them, and he made some classification of them. And first of all, I should say that this term race is something which has attracted me because I'm an anthropologist, and also because there's a history behind the term race. It was actually meant for understanding diversity of humankind, and the first diversity that was studied on the basis of morphology. And accordingly, there are several classifications made. But at the same time, these human classifications also had some bias. And because of that bias, we know that there have been a lot of misery in the world. First, that we know about the black people, so-called black people, and there were also some kind of revolution in USA for this reason, and also we know the hazards of the World War, where in the name of racism, in the name of race, there were mass-scale genocide of the Jewish people because they probably belong to the Caucasian race. Now, there are so after World War One, they had taken up, and two, of course, in 1945, UNESCO had formed a committee to discuss about the terminology of race, and in that there were several experts who were invited, and Ashley Montagu, one of the anthropologists, played a major role because he always had been against this term and also against the racism. So what there were also the first UN director was Huxley, Julian Huxley. We all of us know about Julian Huxley. Then in 1949, it was decided that the committee decided that the term race will not be used any longer because it has got a derogatory value. So in 1950, a report was made on the basis of the human rights of UN, where we shall be very proud to say that Dr. Humayun Kobi was one of the members for drafting this report against the term used as race. So what we do now, we have now that with the emergence of genetics, that the task has become rather easy. But I should say that we all belong to the same group, same single mother that evolved in Africa and then spread all over. So that genetic study has shown that in the mitochondrial level, we are all related to each other through this 3 million years of age. Now to come to India, then the work that has been done by in the Institute of Cell Biology, Molecular Biology in Hyderabad, the evidence and the findings have been published by the Asiatic Society in the book form, outcome of a seminar, international seminar, where it has been shown that in mitochondrial level, whatever higher race, higher caste, lower race, lower caste, tribe we belong to, we have the common mitochondrial level element. We vary only 0.01% from so-called tribal people, so-called higher caste people. So with this background, we go back to 1863, that is more than 150 years back, when William Johnson had made this book. This book, we cannot say that his concept of race was very different. Of course, his concept of race was very different because that was the time when that concept was growing. So his main aim was to find out the people. What he did is he gave us a good photographic evidence, that evidence which persists even through this more than 150 years. We are very fortunate to have it in Asiatic Society. It's well preserved, and the pictures we have seen that it shows all the variation that he noticed. So we cannot blame him that to use the word race and tribe in a different way than what we presume today. What he did, which is very natural, his first division started with the skin color. He divided the whole of the population that he saw and studied and photographed them on the basis of, first he did it on the basis of religion, that is Hindu, Mohammedan, and then also some other groups. Then among the Hindu, he divided them into categories of fair skin and of darker skin. And in the fair screen, he had two categories, the Brahmins and Hamites. And in the darker categories, he considered all the darker people as tribe in this book. But this, he again further categorized them in the tribe as wandering types, such as the Bhil, Gond, and at the same time, he also has gone into the study of caste, or he has written class or caste. That's what he had done. And he had categorized them on the basis of their occupation, on the basis of their features, and mainly skin color was very important for him. It's an Eurocentric view. We cannot deny that. That skin color stood out as a very important feature for anyone from the European country visiting other countries in the tropical areas. So he had made the division into, then the caste, he has made the division into Brahmins, and then he has given some names to cultivators and also to pastorals. Then he has gone back to the tribals, and he has said those people who were enslaved, they were called as Shudros. So his observation of the time period is a very good documentation for anyone to understand what was the population type, whether it is race or tribe or in the different forms of caste and class. This is a very good document with all the photographs, and we have to keep in mind of the time period when he had used the photographic technique, which was not available to the present generation of people and the photographers. Thank you. It was really nice to have gone through again through this volume for this occasion.
Very warm wishes to you all. I extend my heartfelt thanks to Professor Shapon Pramanik, President, Asiatic Society, Dr. Satyabrat Chakraborty, General Secretary, Asiatic Society, Professor Tapati Mukherjee, Library Secretary, Asiatic Society, for their spontaneous support to organize a program of such a high standard. I would like to thank the museum section of Asiatic Society for exhibiting the rare photography from their collection in a completely different manner. In the special occasion of World Photography Day, I think this kind of exhibition will inspire the researchers and photographers to learn the necessity of photo documentation. Thanks to the officials who has contributed to make the program successful. Special thanks are due to Professor Ranjana Rai, our Anthropological Secretary, for sharing her knowledge on the particular aspect relating to anthropology and photography. Thank you.